Introducing Marty Stevens, Practitioner Emeritus, New Vision Center. Practitioner Vernice Reyes, New Vision Center. Practitioner Tina Vlassi, New Vision Center. Practitioner Ron Tronell, New Vision Center. Practitioner Darlene Britton, New Vision Center. Practitioner Janet Ann Gottschall, Practitioner Emeritus, New Vision Center. Practitioner Jolene Bainey, New Vision Center. Practitioner Gina Zamora, New Vision Center. Practitioner and Ministerial Intern Karin Blakely, Eureka Center for Spiritual Living. Reverend Dr. Janet Freeman, Retired Minister, the Oneness Center. Reverend Dr. Michelle Whittington, Religious Science. Reverend Cindy Fairmont, Religious Science Minister, Phoenix. Reverend Glenn Swain, Ordained Minister, Heartfelt Farewell Focus Ministries. Reverend Catherine McDowell, Minister, many different locations, Phoenix, Arizona. Reverend Rhonda Tretzvin, Tempe, Arizona. Reverend Jill Clements, Founding Senior Minister, Scottsdale Center for Spiritual Living. Reverend Lori Frisbee, Chaplain with Royal Hospice and New Vision Center. Reverend Jeff Hargis, New Vision Center. Reverend Karen Russo, the Money Keys Ministry. Reverend Dr. Michelle Madrano, Lead Minister, Mile High Church, Denver, Colorado. Reverend Lezli Goodwin, Associate Minister, New Vision Center. And Reverend Karin Lewis, Senior Minister, New Vision Center.
Well, welcome everybody. It is wonderful to see this place so full. We were beginning to worry that we were going to go way over the amount of chairs that we had here, and it looks like it's just perfect right now. I want to welcome you all to New Vision Center for Spiritual Living. Thank you for taking part in this sacred and amazing celebration. My name is Jeff Hargis, and I'm a minister here at New Vision Center, and we have such a rich and deep history here of 33 years of loving and celebrating life together. In fact, our vision statement even has that word in it, which is revealing the power of love. And one of the things, for those of you that are visiting us, one of the things that we pride ourselves on, probably just like you and your centers pride yourself on, is that we consider ourselves radically inclusive. So anybody who steps through those doors, anybody that watches us online, you are absolutely loved just as you are. And so with that, thank you for joining us for this amazing celebration, and we are going to kick things off with Reverend Lori Frisbee, CSL chaplain, as she prays us in.
Good evening, everyone. I invite us now to just take a breath, breathing in and breathing out. And I invite you to please join me for a brief moment of silence, followed by an invocation. As we begin to quiet our minds, we let go of the busyness of the day, and we bring our awareness to the one. There is but one infinite, loving presence assured in this holy place tonight. It vibrates with love and connection, with belonging and wisdom, grace and compassion. It is the light that illuminates in and through me and through all who are gathered here this evening. I speak a word of blessing on behalf of the two ministers, our senior minister, Reverend Karin, and our associate minister, Reverend Lezli, who have answered this sacred call of lifelong service as a divine open channel through which they serve with compassion, dedication, love, to minister to all people who seek a closer connection with God. I speak a word of blessing for all the ministers officiating this ceremony and celebration, for all the friends, family, and congregants, for the many hands who have joined together to orchestrate this event, and to all of those unable to attend, but whose love is also present here. I bless this community and each unique, precious light who has resonated with the vibration of God and planted seeds of healing, harmony, and of course, love right here at NVC. We see tonight the fruit of those seeds, a community revealing the power of love, shining through each light for all the world to see. I give joyous thanks for all the overflowing and unending blessings that are unfolding right here, right now. I release this prayer unto the action of infinite law, and I trust that it is so. Amen. I would now like to introduce Ron Trunnell, practitioner and ministerial student. Please welcome Ron Trunnell.
Good evening. It's my honor to read these words on behalf of Reverend Karin and Reverend Lezli. They are the words written by Howard Thurman, titled Moments of my high resolve. Keep fresh before me the moments of my high resolve. Despite the dullness and barrenness of the days that pass, if I search with due diligence, I can always find a deposit left by some former radiance. But I had forgotten. At the time, it was full-orbed, glorious, and resplendent. I was sure that I would never forget. In the moment of its fullness, I was sure that it would illumine my path for all the rest of my journey. I had forgotten how easy it is to forget. There was no intent to betray what seemed so sure at the time. My response was whole, clean, authentic. But little by little, there crept into my life the dust and the grit of the journey. Details, lower-level demands, all kinds of cross-currents, nothing momentous, nothing overwhelming, nothing flagrant, just wear and tear. If there had been some direct challenge, a clear-cut issue, I would have fought to the end and beyond. In the quietness of this place, surrounded by the all-pervading presence of God, my heart whispers, keep fresh before me the moments of my high resolve, that in fair weather or in foul, in good times or in tempests, in the days when the darkness and the foe are nameless or familiar, I may not forget that to which my life is committed. Keep fresh before me the moments of my high resolve.
It is my very special honor to introduce the Divine Groove, our amazing house band, with Jack Saba on guitar, Vic Kottner on bass, Fred Awig on drums, directed by Frank Smith on the keys, and featuring the stunning and inspiring Denise Rosier.
But I'll make it. So let us read the Declaration of Principles, first published by our founder, Dr. Ernest Holmes, in 1927. We believe in God, the living Spirit Almighty, one indestructible, absolute, and self-existent cause. This one manifests itself in and through all creation, but is not absorbed by its creation. The manifest universe is the body of God. It is the logical and necessary outcome of the infinite self-knowingness of God.
We believe in the incarnation of the Spirit in humankind, and that all people are incarnations of the one Spirit.
We believe in the internality, the immortality, and the continuity of the individual soul, forever and ever evolving.
We believe in the kingdom of heaven is within us, and that we experience this kingdom to the degree that we become conscious of it.
We believe the ultimate goal of life is to be a complete emancipation from all discord of every nature, and that this goal is sure to be attained by all.
We believe in the unity of all life, and that the highest God and the innermost God is one God.
We believe that God is personal to all who feel this indwelling presence.
We believe in the direct revelation of truth through our intuitive and spiritual nature, and that anyone may become a revealer of truth who lives in close contact with the indwelling God.
We believe that the universal spirit, which is God, operates through a universal mind, which is the law of God, and that we are surrounded by this creative mind, which receives the direct impress of our thought and acts upon it.
We believe in the healing of the sick through the power of this mind.
We believe in the control of conditions through the power of this mind.
We believe in the eternal goodness, the eternal loving kindness, and the eternal givingness of life to all.
We believe in our own soul, our own spirit, and our own destiny, for we understand that the life of all is God.
And now, to share letters from dignitaries that were unable to attend this evening, help me welcome Reverend Jill Clemens, Senior Minister of Scottsdale Center for Spiritual Living.
Thank you, Vernice. It is my honor to read these congratulatory letters to these beautiful beloveds. Dear Revs, Karin and Lezli, and the whole New Vision community, congratulations. This is a big day and a sacred one. You will never do this again. In this moment, you are dedicating your life to ministry for the long haul. It's a marriage in which there is no divorce. Now, we all know this is sacred and important, but I also know this community. So Karin and Lezli, for your ears, you are both spiritual badasses. You have earned that title and will need every bit of the badassery you have learned over the last few years during your various iterations as ministers. Community, this is for you. Please love these two up. Ministers tend to be far more giving and forgiving than the average person. These two ministers, all the time, they dream it, they work it, and believe it or not, they never turn it off. That is not an option. So please, when you're giving constructive criticism, ponder whether they have already heard from others. Figure out their love languages or hit all of them over the course of a year or a month or whatever works. The old joke is that the job of ministry is talking for 20 minutes on Sunday, and that's it. Could I see a raise of hands of ministers in the room that's your life? We all know that it ain't so. So love these two up as they are loving you, wholeheartedly, full steam ahead, and no holds barred. I love you all, and I'm so proud to be your colleague. Reverend Kathleen Sibley. Dearest Reverend Karin and Reverend Lezli, congratulations on your ordinations. I join with the chorus of voices and loving hearts celebrating and acknowledging you this evening for the new high level of recognition and attainment that you have reached. You both were excellent and dedicated ministerial students, and I thoroughly enjoyed your engagement with you as your dean. You made important contributions to the life and unfolding of the San Diego campus through your participation and willingness to call out the things that needed improving. Well. Since your graduations, it has been quite wonderful to see your leadership take flight and to watch from afar the development of New Vision Center under your care and guidance. You have been trailblazers in co-ministry and shared leadership. You are and have become examples to budding ministers of what is possible in ministerial leadership. I also acknowledge and thank you for the courses you taught in the Building Blocks of Practical Ministry program. Reverend Karin's course, Building Your Sustainable Stewardship Program, and Reverend Leslie's course, Building Your Annual Marketing Plan, had both of you in your zones of genius, sharing, empowering, and transforming information with CSL ministers and their support staffs. You already have made meaningful differences in the evolution of New Vision and the Centers for Spiritual Living. Thank you. I know and accept that your futures are bright with light and love, and that Spirit continues to move through you and as it guides you always to new levels of joy and self-expression. Sincerely, Reverend Dr. Kathy Hearn, Director, Centers for Spiritual Living, School of Spiritual Leadership, Dean, San Diego Campus. Dear Reverend Karin, Reverend Lezli, and my beloved New Vision community, it is with a bursting heart of love that I send this acknowledgement of the sacred passage of ordination for Reverend Karin Lewis and Reverend Lezli Goodwin. I share these congratulatory words not only as the field leader of Centers for Spiritual Living, but personally as a former minister and member of New Vision Center, as well as a friend and colleague of Reverend Karin and Reverend Lezli. Ordination is a recognition of a spiritual calling and a dedication to an ongoing personal growth that are essential to the vocation of ministry. Reverend Karin and Reverend Lezli have both taken up this calling in powerful and unique ways. I have watched through the years as they have navigated the twists and turns of ministry, guiding your community through changes in leadership and through the uncertain times of a pandemic with grace, love, and humor, all while being trailblazers in our movement and how co-ministry can work. I can't wait to see how your ministries evolve, and I know that your contributions to New Vision Center, our larger CSL community, and the world have only just begun. Blessings to you both. Enjoy this special time. Love, Reverend Sunday Cote, Field Leader. To my beloved Reverend Karin and Reverend Lezli, it is such a joy to celebrate with you on this day, the day of your ordination. It has been inspiring to stand witness to all that you have accomplished and to all that you have become. And you have done it with such grace. I know that often it probably did not feel very graceful or even grace-filled, and you did what needed to be done anyway. I am so grateful to have walked part of this journey with you and have had great laughs along the way. And of course, tears. We all live close to the water. I am so grateful for all the hard work you put into raising me. Yes, 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 hard work, laughing out loud. The two of you gave me the opportunities for sharpening my tools and smoothing my rough edges. I stand where I stand today with the confidence I feel, as I know you two stand right next to me. Thank you for all you do and all you are. I raise my glass to you. You know, I'm actually doing it right now. Tons of love. Rev Bev, congratulations from the community of East Hawaii Center for Spiritual Living.
I will affirm badassery. Our keynote speaker this evening has been integral to the life of this community. Our senior minister for 17 years from 1995 until 2013, she was the first Science of Mind minister either Reverend Karin or Reverend Lezli ever heard speak. Inspiring, passionate, and authentic, her ministerial style has deeply influenced our honorees. Currently the lead minister of Mile High Church in Denver, Colorado, she continues to push boundaries and expand the teaching of Science of Mind. Please give a rousing New Vision Center welcome home to Reverend Dr. Michelle Medrano.
Thank you. Oh, thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here tonight. And whenever I come to visit, I get so flooded with memories of this beautiful place. And tonight, as we are ordaining these two beloved ones, I'm having a lot of memories of both of them, having watched them both walk into New Vision Center at different times. And feel how that feeling that we have when we see someone who we know is going to be significant in our life, and not know exactly what that significance will be like, but to watch it and feel it just unfold and unfold and unfold, and just allowing oneself to just go with that unfolding as we watch Reverend Lezli just bloom into this beautiful goddess being and minister, as we watch Reverend Karin come in after hearing a radio show and bloom into this also goddess minister. And I'm really touched with memories of how we have loved each other, supported each other, cried together, laughed together, shared meals together, sang together, karaoke, parties, drank, tequila. And what a joy it is to stand here and be part of this very special ordination. Now, as I say anything further and try not to cry too much, they're tears of joy because I'm so happy and proud. I love the feeling here at New Vision Center. I've always loved this beautiful place, and I love the letters that were sent. And I feel like this evening and this entire community continues to be a great dedication to our founding minister, Reverend Joyce Murphy, and to all of the ministers who've served on this staff. I'm looking at a number of them here, and a number of them we heard from, and all of the practitioners. We are so, so very blessed to have shared this time together. I want to assure you right away that if you have been married or gone through classes or done something official with either one of these revs, that this ordination doesn't mean anything around that you're still married, don't worry. It's not like they married you illegally or anything like that. It's just that in our teaching, we do something that's somewhat unique. The word ordination, its history is very interesting. It comes from the root meaning order, and when you are ordained, you are brought into the religious order or group of leaders. Now, Reverend Lezli and Reverend Karin have been licensed as ministers, the Centers for Spiritual Living. And what our organization invites us to do is to be licensed and active as a minister for at least 3 years. Because, as was indicated in some of the letters we heard, and as you might have already experienced, this life of ministry isn't just that 20 minutes getting up there and, and then going home. It's constant dancing like that all week long. It's the work of ministry. It's the support of the community. It's the business, the spiritual business of ministry, as well as the teaching and working with people. It's all sorts of good work, and it's a life that's not for wusses, I'm telling you. It's just not. I love that spiritual badassery. You've got to be strong. You've got to be committed. You've got to have depth. You've got to have spiritual depth to live this life. And so after years of serving in this way, we ministers are given the opportunity to say, essentially, do you want to get married? Do you want to marry this way of life? Is this who you are at the core of you? You may have been called, but is this who you are? And if the answer is yes, then we step into that experience of ordination and we step across an invisible line. And while we're here tonight to honor these ministers as they do officially step across that invisible line, I also want to invite us to be here not only to celebrate these beloved women, but to also feel that call within us. The very first time I went to an ordination was many years ago. There was a minister in Denver when I was living there named Reverend Wallace Duke, and I went to an ordination at Mile High Church. I was in that phase where I had gotten the call to ministry, but I was pretty sure the universe had the wrong number. And I was kind of in that, like, that's a dumb idea. I'm not going to do that. But I went to this ordination, and I watched this man whom I loved and I had been ministered by go through this process of adoration and love. I watched him walk across that invisible line, and I felt the power and the magnificence of it. And I felt as I left that ordination like I was walking on air. I was so touched and moved. And I kept asking myself, why is this so moving for me? And I realized that it's because we've all been called. We all are ordained by the divine to have purpose and to have meaning and to make a contribution and to be here in this life together. And so this ordination represents something magnificent and special for these ministers and for this community, but it represents a call to each one of us. And it's a call, it's so perfectly poised to be right here, right now, as we're ordaining ministers during such a challenging week. Through a week where many of us are feeling our hearts broken as we've watched more shootings occur and find ourselves questioning how to be with that and how to deal with that and feel that call that community can be for us as we come together and try to make sense of it and hold each other and cry together and create in our minds meaningful change that can happen in the world. And all of that comes about because ministers like these two are holding the space for community to be together, for community to stand together and comfort each other and use the teachings and the principles to go deeper and to find peace and well-being. And so this is holy, sacred work that we are all part of it. So while we honor Reverend Karin and Reverend Lezli, I invite us all to honor our deep spiritual purpose this evening, what we've been called to do, and be present to this holy moment of these beings we love who have devoted themselves to ministry. Our founder, Ernest Holmes, says to us, "It is impossible for a person to conceal himself before an audience." I bet you know that feeling, right? He says, I don't mean we are expected to be paragons of perfection. If we waited for that, it wouldn't be in this life. And it's this life that we would lead or teach or practice. But we must have found some inward experience that transcends the ordinary. And in our field, it must transcend the ordinary theological experience because our whole theory and practice is based on the assumption that we, as individuals, do have access to the power that operates independently of us and causes our way of using it to operate individually for us. We are called upon to teach the truth, to practice it, and to proclaim it publicly. And so, as we ordain these ministers, we recognize that that is what they are about, to stand publicly in the proclamation of truth. But this work of ministry also brings with it other things that we get to acknowledge. We get to acknowledge that as ministers, we stand in what they call the fishbowl of life. As people watch us live our lives and make conclusions about us by what they see as we live our lives and do what we do. As we work together to speak and teach and come up with powerful messages. I remember once having Edwene Gaines here, and she said to me so clearly, "Oh, honey, I'd never want to do what you do." She says, "I get to write one talk and go give it all over the world, and you have to write 40-some talks a year and get up there and present." And I thought, wow, that's kind of true. My job's harder than Edwene Gaines. Ministers have to comfort people through difficult times, wars, shootings in their neighborhood, have to utilize the support of the community to reach out to their local community many times to make a difference. Ministers do counseling and talk with people privately, and pastoral care for people who are not well. Ministers have to figure things out during a gosh darn pandemic, for God's sake. Have to stand as a beacon and an anchor for their community. Ministers have to withstand the constant projections that people put upon us as an authority in their life that push their unhealed past buttons, and we become their mommies or their daddies or their grandmamas or their aunties or people in their life who we represent that they are then having issues with. Ministers also spend countless hours in meditation and prayer, just as many people who are not ministers do, seeking out that which we're all seeking, that experience of the divine, that feeling of oneness, and that knowing that no matter how busy or crazy or how many times people are calling me or how many meetings I go to, I have to maintain that centered place within me to continue to thrive and for my community to continue to thrive. There are so many things that we ministers do, and so as we're ordaining you this evening, we are allowing you to say that final sacred yes to all that and so much more, and a bag of chips, to all of that, to being willing to stand in that place where life has called us. I saw this, or I heard one of my students tell me recently, I think Ron and I were both there, they saw a meme. And so one of the most important things I will say, as I know you've heard before, as you're being ordained, is to remember to listen to your call. Your call. No one else's call. You can't listen to hers, she can't. Your call. And to remember that when you got it, it wasn't a conference call. That's what the meme said. It wasn't a conference call. It was meant just for you to listen again to that call over and over and to listen to that divine within you. That's what we're really calling you to do. So while we're here to ordain them, and I can say all the most beautiful words in the world that I could think of, I know life, God, your own soul has ordained you more than anything we could do here today. And I encourage you to breathe it in, to take it in, to claim it, to own it, to be it. And it is that seeing of that light, that seeing of that presence that ordains you more than anything we could do or say this evening, that allows me to say, congratulations. I love you both. I'm here for you. I know this beloved community is here for you. You are so well loved. Congratulations.
am one, simple and plain, no superpowers, no famous name, but I stand tall, 'cause I believe something greater has come alive inside of me. And I have felt the Spirit stirring in my soul, deep in my soul. And I will give love, I will speak peace, all because of the love that's got a hold of me. So wide open, so amazing, it takes my breath away when it occurs to me. In a world where so many feel lost, I know God. I am one, but I'm not alone. When I'm with you, I am home. Side by side, we find the truth. When the Spirit in me meets the same in you, and I have felt the fire burning in my soul, deep in my soul. I will give love, I will speak peace, all because of the love that's got a hold of me. So wide open, so amazing, it takes my breath away when it occurs to me. In a world where so many feel lost, I know God. I will give love, I will speak peace, all because of the love that's got a hold of me. So wide open, so amazing, it takes my breath away when it occurs to me. In a world where so many feel lost, in a world where so many feel lost, in a world where so many feel lost, I know God. I know God.
At this time, I would like to invite up to the platform Reverend Karin Russo, creator of the Money Keys and beloved partner of New Vision Center Community, and Reverend Dr. Michelle Medrano, as they perform the ordination charge.
The presentation. Reverend Dr. Michelle Medrano, and to the ministers of religious science, we present to you Reverend Lezli Goodwin and Reverend Karin Lewis You'll sit for a little longer. To be ordained into the ministries of the Centers for Spiritual Living.
Well, are you convinced that Reverend Lezli and Reverend Karin are prepared and worthy for the office and work of an ordained minister of religious science?
Yes. We are
Good answer.
convinced that Reverend Lezli and Reverend Karin are both prepared and worthy.
These candidates have been found to be prepared and worthy to receive ordination in the Centers for Spiritual Living, having now completed the required period of licentiate ministry. We are gathered here to witness a magnificent ceremony of initiation, welcoming, and transformation. Ordination is an initiation of a licensed minister into the lifelong calling of ministry. It is a welcoming on behalf of the family of ordained ministers of our faith, of one or more in their ranks. Reverend Karin Russo, your presenting minister will now charge you with your ministerial commitment.
Should they come up now?
Yeah, they should come up now.
Okay, so now you go. Okay. All right. So, Reverend Lezli and Reverend Karin. The ties of a minister to her ministry represent a bond that is both sacred and, with this ceremony, everlasting. With ordination, you step into a new life of spiritual service and commitment. Ministry, with its glorious moments of holy revelation and its messy challenges, becomes your lifelong passion and your lifelong classroom. Today, you enter a path of no return. You become a minister for life. This union is to be undertaken with great consideration and respect for your ministry, for those you serve, and for yourself. Out of all the possibilities for giving your gifts to the world, you have chosen to be a minister for the Centers for Spiritual Living. Reverend Lezli, I know your gifts and I honor your gifts of divine creative expression that are just unmatched. Reverend Karin, I know your gifts and I honor your gifts of deep, beautiful, divine love and spiritual conviction. These gifts are tremendous benefits and blessings to us, and we want your ministry to be a tremendous blessing and benefit to you. Over the years, your ministry and you will change, but your unchanging commitment to the desires of your heart that brought you here today will ensure a life of sacred satisfaction in your ministry. Do not hold back. Give all the wisdom, organizational skills, and all the love you have to give. Do not be an island. Seek the help and support you need. I charge you, dear ministers, dear friends, dear colleagues, teach, heal, love, minister to all. May the peace of God be forever in your heart. May the wisdom of God speak through your words, and may the light and love of God flow through the blessings that you give to the world. And so it is.
So it is. And just like any good marriage, there are vows. So we start first with you, Reverend Lezli. Reverend Lezli Goodwin, the Centers for Spiritual Living has consented to this convening of this ordination service in recognition of the fact that your ministry is precious to it. You have heard the charge offered by Reverend Karin Russo. Are you prepared to take your vows to become a minister for life in the Centers for Spiritual Living? Do you dedicate yourself to respond faithfully to the needs of all those who call upon you? Will you bring the very best that you are into your ministry for the love of the people you serve and for your own deepening? Please please fold your hands over your heart as a symbol of the sanctity with which you take these vows. Reverend Lezli, do you promise to love and to be loyal to the teachings of science of mind and to the ministry you serve? Do you promise to minister to all those who come to you to the best of your ability and seek to see the face of God in all people? Do you promise to maintain your own spiritual practice so that your relationship with Spirit is always fresh and new? And do you promise to promote harmony, peace, and right action wherever you find you are called to minister? If so, answer, I do. Beloved Reverend Lezli, because you have been found eminently qualified for ordination, and because you have made your sacred vows in front of your colleagues and friends by the authority vested in me by the Centers for Spiritual Living, I now confer upon you ordination as a minister for spiritual living. And let us move to the next part as you step back. And we hear some vows from you, Reverend Karin. Reverend Karin Lewis, the Centers for Spiritual Living has consented to the convening of this ordination in recognition of the fact that your ministry is precious to it. You have heard the charge offered by Reverend Karen Russo. Are you prepared to take your vows to become a minister for life in the Centers for Spiritual Living? Do you dedicate yourself to respond faithfully to the needs of all those who call upon you? Will you bring the very best that you are into your ministry for the love of the people you serve and for your own deepening? Please fold your hands over your heart as a symbol of the sanctity with which you take these vows. Reverend Karin, do you promise to love and to be loyal to the teachings of science of mind and to the ministry you serve? Do you promise to minister to all those who come to you to the best of your ability and seek to see the face of God in all people? Do you promise to maintain your own spiritual practice so that your relationship with Spirit is always fresh and new? And do you promise to promote harmony, peace, and right action wherever you find you are called to minister? If so, answer, I do. Beloved Reverend Karin, because you have been found eminently qualified for ordination and because you have made your sacred vows in front of your colleagues and friends by the authority vested in me by the Centers for Spiritual Living, I now confer upon you ordination as a minister for spiritual living. Congratulations. And as you step back, we have one more gift to make it really official. Are you ready, y'all? Okay. The Centers for Spiritual Living has a special gift for each of you, which is a symbol of your newly acquired station as an ordained minister. The stole that we will now confer on a newly ordained minister is a symbol of commitment to the promises of ministry and a reminder that the power of the Infinite One is available to all whenever this minister wears this stole in years to come. The beautiful fabric is a reminder that your ministry, just like your life, is woven from the threads of many people, events, and understandings. And it is all of these many different experiences that make your life, as well as your ministry, strong and a beautiful tapestry of truth. Our Science of Mind symbol expresses the triune nature of God, which continually reveals itself in the heart of our lives, reminding us that Spirit descends into and expresses as all form, that all is sacred and all is divine. This is your garment of spiritual power. Every time you wear this stole, you are linked with all the clergy and spiritual teachers around the globe and across the centuries. You carry upon your shoulders the form and the essence of your ministry and the strength of a great philosophy and a rich and fulfilling way of life. Reverend Lezli, will you please step forward? Reverend Lezli, the time has come for you to accept this symbol of spiritual power. May it be that each time you put the stole on your shoulders for all the years of your ministry, that you draw strength from every spiritual servant who has also donned a garment of spiritual power. And may you remember the love that accompanies the presentation of this stole here today. When you wear this garment, may you always feel immersed in sacred partnership with the divine. Now is the time to bestow the stole on this blessed minister. You have chosen your beloved Bobby Olander to bestow the stole on you, so I ask Bobby to join us. And so, as you place the stole upon her shoulders, Bobby, May I present ordained minister, Reverend Lezli Goodwin. Okay. Reverend Karin, the time has come for you to accept this symbol of spiritual power. May it be that each time you put the stole on your shoulders for all the years of your ministry, that you draw strength from every spiritual servant who has donned a garment of spiritual power. May you remember the love that accompanies the presentation of this stole here today. When you wear this garment, may you always feel immersed in sacred partnership with the divine. Now it is time to bestow the stole on this blessed minister. You have chosen Tom Finn, your beloved partner, and your daughter, Stephanie Whedon, to bestow the stole on you. And so I ask them to join us here. And invite them both to place that over your shoulders. May I present ordained Reverend Karin Lewis. Oh my. So the formal ordination ceremony is complete, but we have more fun to have, as I believe we have a song? A song from the wonderful Denise Rosier.
Spirit is in this place. Yes, yes. Oh, I so wish I could take this moment, take it all in, and place it into the awareness of that young Karin that came to America, who felt quite separate, quite alone. I wish I could take this moment and give it to her, because it would solidify her path, and it would have made it a little easier. I wish I could take this moment and place it into the awareness of the Karin just before she found the New Vision Center, about 15 years ago now. Although, I think I had a glimmer of this moment when I heard a woman on the radio say a lot of things that resonated with the very deepest part of me. And then she said, New Vision Center, the place where we look at our stuff differently. That woman became my senior minister. She became my mentor, my guiding light, my friend, my Michelle. I wish I could take this moment and place it into the awareness of every seeker, of every beloved who feels lost, separate, not quite knowing what to do. I took vows tonight that I will give it my all, that I will give my love. I think it said organizational leadership and skills. My wisdom to my ministry. And make no mistake, New Vision Center is my ministry. And so I want to take this moment and send it forth to every beloved who has ever heard about this teaching, this center, and maybe more importantly, to those beloveds who have not heard about it yet, so that they feel with confidence what you are seeking is seeking you. And to know that moments like this are possible. I love you all. Thank you.
So what you doing? Karin and I, and Reverend Jeff as well, have referenced a lot of times that what we are doing, what we have done, what we continue to do, is not anything different than any person sitting in any of these chairs. That we each came in individually, didn't know anyone, felt a call to live more deeply, more fully, and found this place that felt like home, and took whatever the logical step was that was right in front of us. And then when the next step came, we took that. And when the next step came, we took that, until we land where we are now as licensed minister, as ordained ministers. Our teaching tells us that the highest God and the innermost God is one God, and that anyone can become a revealer of truth who chooses to live in close proximity with that indwelling God. I say that a lot because it is absolutely the guiding principle of my personal ministry. I really heard you, Dr. Michelle, when you said, You know, we're all here doing New Vision Center and supporting Karin and her senior ministry and loving all of you. And there's the individual ministry as well that comes from within and rises up. And as the marketing person that never quite gets all the way removed from me, I have to ask, okay, I'm a revealer of truth. Does it scale? Like, how many people can I actually help with my personal revelation of truth, right? But what I can do, and what I choose to do, and what I love to do is train spiritual leaders to raise up the next generation of practitioners and the next generation and the next generation and the next generation of ministerial students, and to mentor them through that process, because that's the way I'm called to change the world. To make sure it's not about me, it's about how many people can I help reach their, whatever that thing is for them. And together, we make the most tremendous difference. And we're so needed. This teaching is so needed. This philosophy, this way of being in the world, this way of loving one another and choosing peace and choosing to see the positive everywhere we can, and believing in the positivity and the loving kindness of humanity, all humanity. All humanity, every country, every religion, every political persuasion, everybody. That's what it's going to take to change this world. And I am so deeply honored to have this loving nest in which to do that work with y'all, the most amazing community. I love you. Thank you so much for all of the ways you've held and supported and continue to hold and support myself, this ministry, Reverend Karin, this teaching. You're amazing. I love you. Please help me welcome up ministerial intern and practitioner Karin Blakely, who has returned from her new home at CSL Eureka to do our closing.
Let's just all take a moment and take a breath and just breathe in this absolutely amazing event. I want to thank you for being with us this evening. And a huge thank you to Denise and the Divine Groove. And please join us. And then we'd also like to say, please join us on the breezeway immediately following the closing, because we're going to have a little party. I also want to ask you, in all seriousness, to please remain seated in your seats while our ministers recess after the closing prayer. And so we just breathe again into this space, into this amazing place. What an absolute joy it is to come together as this beloved congregation to celebrate this beautiful occasion. And what I know is that while this is a conclusion, it is also just the beginning. That there is something greater, something deeper that is ready to be expressed. That seed has already been planted. That the spiritual badassery has only just begun. And what I also know is true is that each one of us are blessed by the blessing that is these two beautiful, powerful women. That as we have witnessed here, every word spoken, that it is not just the words, but what is within the words that is within each one of us. That is that whisper of yes, to reveal our highest and greatest in the best way possible that we can reveal the divine in this world. And so I just give thanks. Thanks for every hand who has had a part in making this occasion possible. From the mentors and the friends, to the tiny whispers, to the workers who put together all of the event planning and every piece of it, knowing that all of it is a divine yes, and it is good and so very good. And so we just affirm this together by knowing and saying together, and so it is.